Hey everybody, this is Dave coming to you from the Gaming Cave, and today we're continuing our playthrough of Midway Solitaire Deluxe Edition from Decision Games. Alright, we're getting near the end. We're going to try to wrap it up here on this round. First thing we're ready to do is pick up our next chit, and it is Reinforcement. Okay, so let's see what that means for us. Reinforcement. Roll 1d6 and apply the result. Okay, well, let's just start by rolling the d6 and then we'll figure out what the result is. And it is a 6. Okay. 4 to 6. All IJN CD units in the IJN eliminated unit display are placed in the original deployment spaces at reduced strength. Then, regardless of bases were replaced or not, randomly pick one eliminated land aircraft and place it in its original deployment space. If this deployment would exceed the base's current capacity, return it to the eliminated. Okay, so we don't have any eliminated Japanese bases, but we do have some eliminated, at least one eliminated landcraft. I'm just looking through these real quick to see if there's anything else, but the rest of these are all Navy. Okay, so he gets the G3M Rabaul. So I think he goes in here 1, 2, 3, 4, because he has the G3, yeah. So it goes on this side, so it does go in there. So they get their bomber back. Okay. All right. After resolving the reinforcement action, skip the remaining Japanese segments, and we start with G1. All right, so we go all the way down here to G1. Reorganize the task force. Create a new task force. Recruit reinforcements. Replace a land-based aircraft. Replace a naval aircraft. I think I have a land-based here. Yeah, I have another one there. It's BD and the PBY. Well, I'm thinking that we will take that PBY and put him back in this group too. Okay. Intelligence. I can do naval air search, seaplane search, or signals intelligence. I'm going to do signals intelligence because I want to know what's coming up next. And it's going to be carrier force versus NGS. So that's a special also. So we'll have to read about that. Okay, we'll go to G3. And G3 is our chance to move. Okay. We can do naval operations. I have Task Force 16 up there. I can start moving him. Or I can do land-based. I still don't know if they're going to attack Midway again. But I think I would like to staff it up. It's got 2 fighters. He's actually got 3 fighters. So I could send him 2 aircraft. You know, I'm in such a defensive mode. I think I'll send him 2 more sets of fighters. The P-39s, which were from Port Moresby, and BMF 221, the Buffaloes. I'm sending them back out there. So he's now got 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 5 sets of fighters at Midway. So that airfield's full now. And that's where we'll be with them. And now we go to logistics. And we're going to attempt to repair 2 ships. Here we go. And we know a 1 to 3 is no effect. Oh, we got a 1 and a 4. So the 4 is the Yorktown. Yorktown comes out here in Midway. All right, so we have a carrier that got repaired finally. Sure would have been nice to have had that quite a while ago. That's the end of the reinforcement phase. That one drops in here. Okay, and now we'll move on to this next phase. And this is about combined fleet versus naval general staff. The remaining segments of the Japanese naval phase are skipped. Conduct all required segments of the U.S. Navy and administrative phases. So, what this represents, would have been nice to have had it a lot earlier in the game, but maybe it'll pay off. They're arguing amongst each other and they can't make a decision what to do. So I moved to G1 again. All right, on G1, I can create task forces, recruit reinforcements, replace a naval aircraft. If one carrier in the Pearl Harbor or West Coast has at least one assigned air unit in the U.S. eliminated units display, you may place one in the carriers. Okay, so this is the Yorktown. So I have a fighter from the Yorktown there. And there's Lexington, Hornet, Enterprise, Lexington. Here's the Yorktown. Torpedo bomber. And she already had the dive bombers. So we're going to replace the fighters. Are going out to the Yorktown now. So we now have getting him staffed up. Okay. G2. Well, I think we want to do the Naval Intelligence. It's the last chit, and I want to know what they're going to be doing. And it is Solomons. So the Solomons are where they're going to be coming for the last turn. All right. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Not much I can do to help them, but it's good to know. So we go to G3. And on G3, we're going to do rebase air units, move any or all U.S. Navy currently in any one space to any other space within 2 times their range. Air-based capacity limits must be taken care of. I want to get them to Australia, but to get them down there, I don't know. I don't think you can take them straight to Australia. So I can't help him there. That's not going to help him. He's out here. So I think, what do we do? It's not going to help me to move these guys. So really, there's not much going on here. The Solomons is where he's going to attempt to move. Well, all he's got is airplanes. 1, 2. They're going to be able to reach me unless I pull all the way back with my task force. He doesn't have anybody that can invade. But I hate to give that up. Saratoga really doesn't have much left in her set of fighters. And not even that's cruiser and destroyer. I think we'll back Task Force 17 back up to New Caledonia. So I don't lose any more ships. He doesn't have any ships there. So the only thing he can do are airstrikes, and there's no task force there. So I don't think they'll do anything. So maybe that'll save me down there. All right, we go to G4. And on G4, I'm going to bring out my torpedo bombers for the Yorktown. Put them back on, and now my aircraft are fully loaded again. So the Yorktown's ready to rejoin out there. That takes that off of the mix. And we go to the Solomons. Okay, so here we go. This is, unless something weird happens, I don't think it can, this should be the final move of the game. And then we'll see what the victory says, what the victory points are, because I have no idea what they're supposed to be right now. Okay, so we have our marker. We go into the search segment. 1, 2, 3 away from land base, so they don't have anybody to search for. So they're not going to search. We don't have any surface fleets here, so there's nobody for them to do any movement. I don't need to do any reaction. So this thing is just like zip, zip, zip. Air launch unit. For spotted, Navy or task or bases determine the mission. So they do have, these guys can come up and they're going to probably come attack my base. So we have fighter, bomber, 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 bomber. Okay, so we're going to roll to see what these guys are going to do, if they're going to attack the base or not. Okay, we have a naval aircraft bomber. A 1 is a no launch. It's a 5. He is going to the objective. Okay, I have another one. He's going to the objective. Now we have the G4Ms. This is the land-based. So a 1 or 2 is a no launch. Hey, a 1, they're not coming. They're staying back here in Rabaul. Now the other one. Oh, no dice. 4, he's coming. So their last mission, they're sending their bombers. Now they're fighters. These are land-based. So we're going to roll to see what they're going to do. It's 1 to 2, they stay on cap. That's where they stay, so they don't come out either. So only the bombers came. So this will be really quick because, oops, sorry about that. The camera slipped on me. The mutual combat segment, there is no air defense there, so the only thing they can do is attack us. So we'll go ahead and do this. We'll start with the G3M bomber. He's a 1 or 2 to hit. 3, he missed. We'll send him back to Rabaul. Here comes the dive bomber. He needs a 1. 6, nothing. And a 1 for this one also. Oh, a 1. So they knocked out my land unit. And they go back. Oh, my task force stays there. Okay, and they go back. So maybe I should have left my task force there. I don't know. I just didn't want to lose any more ships. Okay, mutual returns done. There's no morale to do. Logistics, I really don't think any of this is going to matter now. We're at the end. My G1 is, I don't need to recruit any more naval aircraft, replace any. So we're done there. I can replace my coastal defense unit. Been eliminated, you may select. If there's a task force, there's not. So I can't replace that yet. All right, we'll go to G2. I really don't have anything to do there because there's no other future movements. G3, I could move my task force back up here, which next turn would allow me to resupply that. And then G4, try to repair my aircraft carrier one last time. I need a 4, 5, or 6. 2, nope. Can't get the Lexington out there. All right, and we are now at the end. So let me take a look and let's see what our victory conditions are. Okay, so here's the victory conditions. So I'm gonna have to do some math. Let's hope I don't lose count. Okay, first we're gonna add up victory points I gain for Japanese Navy units destroyed. So over here in this box, we're adding up. Okay, for each, oh man, a bunch of air units too. Okay, CVs, the carriers, I get 6 each. So there's 1, 2, that's 12. The CVLs, I get 3 each. 12, so 15, 18, 21. Transports, I get 1 each, and there's 2 in there, so that's 23. Damaged units, okay, 23. Got 2 CVs in there, that's 2 each. 25, 27, battleship 28. I get a half there. 28 and a half. 28 and a half. Okay. Player loses the number for each of these. 4 carriers. 4 points for carriers. So I got to write this down. 28 and a half. Okay. So I have 8 points right there that I lost for carriers. I don't have any other ships that were eliminated. Lose -1 for each damaged. Oh, wait a minute. I looked at the wrong thing. It's 2 points for each aircraft that I destroyed. Okay, so I'm going to re-add this. See, told you it's be tricky. We're going to re-add this. 6 points here. That's 12. 3 each here. 15, 18, 21, 22, 23. And aircraft are 2 each. 23, 25, 27, 29, 31, 33, 35, 37, 39. Now into the damaged ones, 39. I get 41, 43, 44 and a half. There we go. 44 and a half. Now, I'm going to count the American units again. Destroyed, I've got 8. And each air unit, 8. Now I'm over here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 destroyed right there, or up to 18. Okay. And in the damage units, I have a carrier. 18, that's 20. And I lost 10 because I lost Port Moresby. Whew, that's 30. And the thing I didn't count were damaged Japanese aircraft, which there is 1, 2, 3, 4 more. That makes that 48 and a half. Minus 30 leaves me at 18 and a half. Ha! Okay. 18 and a half. The game is a draw. See, if I could have got that Lexington repaired, it wouldn't have saved me, but it would have made it a little closer. So, designer's note says, in game terms, the original campaign was a draw. The U.S. Navy sank 4 Japanese carriers and 1 light carrier while losing 2 carriers of its own. Each side also had 1 carrier damaged. The Japanese took the Aleutians and Tulagi in the Solomons, the latter leading to the Guadalcanal campaign in 1942. You as the player must do better than Nimitz. Well, unfortunately, I didn't do better than Nimitz. I did just as well as Nimitz did. Okay. So, I know you're probably wondering, so what do you think about this game? So, my final thoughts on this game is this. This is not an overly complicated game. So, it's an easy game to learn and to play. And if that's what you're looking for, this is a great game for that. It doesn't mirror history, so it's not a simulation of history because things weren't happening all at the same time, you know, over this same period, you know, during the period around Midway, but it does kind of translate that way. So if you're looking for, you know, a game that's a nice historical game, but it's not what I would call the simulation. You know, the ships are mixed up. You don't have the same forces everywhere. So it's not a true simulation, but it's a great historical game, and you learn a lot about history. This is a great game for that. The turns, if I wasn't videoing them, would go a lot faster. So this would have been a lot quicker to play if I was just playing it by myself. The rules are a little bit ambiguous on a few things, and I think the farther along that I went, the better I started to understand the rules. So, you know, don't get frustrated with that, but there are things that you got to do, and there's things you got to remember. I know I forgot on this last turn, you know, pulling when those task forces move, you got to see if they're going to get, you know, what kind of special events happen there. So you always got to remember those. Couple things that would have helped me probably during the game that I would do different. One thing I don't like here is this eliminated units, because you really need to know which one of these they came from. I think in the game design, it would have been better if they would have actually put eliminated units along in these boxes or something where you could stack them up. That way, when you're trying to do, you know, which ones got eliminated, which ones came from which task force, because they are random when you set up. You can't look back and go, oh, that one came out of this one. So it would have helped if they would have done a little bit of design work there during the play testing, figured out that, hey, this is confusing here. I don't know which ones came from which. I probably next time would either put them right back in this box, damaged, or put a marker in the box, like a little cube, maybe a red cube here and a yellow cube here, you know, and then put your cube on top of them so you know which task force they were assigned to begin with. Little things like that that help it. Don't kill the gameplay. You can still play the game. It's not that big a problem. It's just it got a little confusing when I started sinking ships as to which ones, you know, I was actually taking care of there. So, hey, it's a fun game. I really did like playing it. I'm glad you guys stuck with me through this whole thing. I know we did 10 parts on this, but I wanted to keep the videos at a reasonable rate so you could watch it a little at a time as we went along. And, you know, like I said, I had a lot of fun playing this. I hope you had as much fun watching it as I did playing it. And, you know, we'll see what comes up next on the game table. But in the meantime, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I would appreciate it. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. But that's going to conclude Midway Solitaire Deluxe Edition from Decision Games. And I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys on the next one.